Let's call the Pipestone City Council meeting to order for July 21st. Could I have a roll call, please?
Dan Delaney.
Here.
Roger Smith.
Here.
Danielle Thompson. Here. Scott Swanson.
Here.
Bernine Kolbeck.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda. Is there any additions, changes, or deletions to our agenda? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any questions, discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no. And motion carries. Next up is the consent agenda. The consent agenda contains the following items for approval: the July 7th, 2025 special meeting minutes, the July 7th, 2025 regular meeting minutes, the payment of claims, listing of bills, and the June financial reports. I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion, questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Next up is community concerns. Deb, do we have anyone signed in for community concerns?
We do not.
Okay. So we'll move on to the public hearing. And the public hearing is to gather input on the 2026 municipal budget. And so each year prior to the development of the annual city budget, the council holds a public hearing. And this would be tonight at our meeting. It's been advertised, and I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing for our 2026 municipal budget.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so our public meeting is open. Is there anyone that would like to ask any questions or make any statements on the 2026 municipal budget? And no one from the immediate audience here. I did have some folks question me or ask me about a addition to Southwest Park and to put in a splash pad area. We're not talking about a huge splash pad, but just one or two amenities just to utilize that park for little children, and these were daycare providers that we're talking about. I thought it would be a good idea. So something to discuss or something to think about at the council level. That's all I have for the 26 budget, other than our normal things that we need to do, keep operations going.
We have begun the process. Department heads are working on their budgets and we'll begin meetings next week with department heads. Any council members, if you'd like to participate, you just have to let me know. We'll have to post it if we have more than 3, as that will be a quorum.
All right. And I'd encourage council members to sit in on those. I mean, if you have the time, very educational. So, okay. Hearing no other comments about the 2026 municipal budget, I'd entertain a motion to close our public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next up is the reports, and we'll start out with our airport report. Rob?
Good evening. I think for everything's going good out there at the airport, actually. And the grass is all got baled up like it's supposed to. But the thing is, this year we had a little bit of a problem with the bales being not picked up right away. And I think that's mainly because it's new people, because the old boy passed away. So, but everything's all taken care of. Equipment's off of the runway where it's supposed to be. And I got a note here that was dated 4/21 of 25, and this come from the MnDOT, Rob Mason. It says they contacted the NavAid team They advised us that the installation for the AWAS would be early spring. Since then, I've contacted Silas just last week, and our main guy I go to is Chris over there, and he left and he went to work for the MnDOT. So I talked to Silas, and he said, he got back to me and said that this week, it'll be this week, that he's going to a contractor in Marshall to see if we can't get things moving,
Okay.
because we definitely want to get that AWAS out there.
Yeah, that's something you've been working on for a number of years and we're getting closer, but yeah, we'd like to get it going. That's for sure.
Well, spring has passed,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
but anyway,
Unless he's talking spring of 26, I hope not.
I hope not either. The, yesterday at 3:15 in the afternoon, I got a call from Minneapolis Center that we had an airplane that wrecked out there at the airport. And the thing is, when you get a call from Minneapolis Center, actually the aircraft is overdue. This one here came by way of an ELT, the emergency locator transmitter. Now the FAA everything used to be monitored by the airlines, but now it's done by satellite. And it'll give you exactly where the aircraft is at. So they told us that it was right at the airport, which was really nice. So I don't know who sent out the 911 call, but everything was taken care of very, very quickly. The thing is, when you get a deal with the aircraft wrecked like that, you're not only talking to Minneapolis Center, the Air Force Rescue Center, FAA in Oklahoma City, National Transportation Board, Minnesota Wing, and the FISDO, which is the FAA in Minneapolis. Everybody's got to have to know, and they all make their calls actually, and they all get the same information. And but the thing is, the nice thing about it is, thanks to the emergency service that we have here at Pipestone, the Sheriff's Department, and the Fire Department in their response, it was very quick from the way it sounds. And because I got here about 15, 20 minutes after it happened, and then I start getting all these phone calls. And the thing is, the aircraft that they thought it was not the one that's listed on the registry in Oklahoma City. Because the guy made a bunch of mods, and it was not an A-line, it was an old Air Coupe. And the nice thing about it is that he did not get hurt.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That was the main thing. Because then you'd have the airplane have to stay put until they get their investigation done. Right now, we got the aircraft removed from the cornfield into a secure spot. So, but like I say, with the quick and professional response of the emergency of Pipestone, job well done. Thank you.
And that included EMS, I'm sure.
That just cut in EMS.
Right.
Even though they weren't out there very long because the individual was okay.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of blood on his shirt. But the thing is, that was from a cancer thing. And that had nothing to do with the airplane. But he modified that airplane he worked on for 9 years. And the thing is, he put a roll bar in it. And what he doesn't realize is that roll bar actually saved his life. Because otherwise it crushed the cockpit flat.
Okay.
And then he went and got out. But he had so much junk in there, I don't know where he sat in the first time. But they're all going to Oshkosh. There was 3 airplanes landing in a row, and he was number 1. They said he was going awful fast, but the way it looks, when he touched down, he might have had the brakes on. And like I say, it was a highly modified Air Coupe. And once he touched down, which was probably about 80 miles an hour, he started going to the left, and he never got it back. Then it went down the ditch, and then it flipped and actually missed about the first 4 or 5 corn rows, then fell on its back on the inside. So
How fast do you think it was going, Rob? Just as
I
an
would say he
estimate?
flipped over, he probably going about 65,
Okay,
and then it stayed put right there.
which is a pretty good clip to be flipping a plane. Yeah. Okay.
And that's just estimate. And the FAA's, they're buying it. They decided that being it's 3.5 hours from Minneapolis to here, and back to Minneapolis 3.5, it wasn't worth it for them to come down.
With no injuries, I'm sure they're not going to look into it.
Yeah, no injuries, nobody comes out. and I don't blame them. So, but we had plenty of help to get everything off the runway. No damage to the runway, which was nice. And, but he was admiring the runway, he said, when they come into land, that it was nice and wide, and it was grass, and he loves it. And he went and did this. So,
Yeah,
Can't
that's
wait.
why they call them accidents, right?
that's why they call it an accident.
That's right.
You know, the sad part about it is, 4 or 5 weeks before that, his wife was flying a Cessna 182, and she crashed in Idaho, but she got injured pretty good. But the insurance company didn't like that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's all I got.
All right. Well, let's hope that the next time we talk to you, things are a little quieter out there.
I like it when it just said everything's going good and going good.
Yeah, great.
Good bet.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Senior Center, Steve.
Well, I have nothing exciting to report like that. Wow. Senior Center, everything is going good. We're up to 122 members now, which is an all-time high that we've had. The newest thing that has been started there is the senior dining every day from at 11:30. Senior meals are being served. It's slow. It started out a little bit. The highest amount of people that we've had is 13, and it fluctuates anywhere from 2 to those 13. I'm not sure if it's just kind of the wrong time of the year with it being summer to try to get people in. But anyhow, it started. It has been requested for about 2 years. It's finally up and rolling, and so hopefully we'll get more people to come in. It's probably going to take some advertising and a little bit more push to get it going, but that's
What's the requirements for that senior dining, Steve?
65 years of age.
65 years of age, and that's it. That's the only requirement.
That's the only requirement.
Okay.
It's been busy at the center. Since we had the last report here, we had our waffle feed at the end of April, and we served 494 people, and that was a very good fundraiser for us. John Bench from PRG came and gave a talk and report about retirement plans, so on and so forth. In June, we had a campfire with hot dogs, s'mores, and a sing-along out at the park that's owned by the I suppose it's Pipestone National Monument. It's down kind of in that area down there, and we had that out there. We had 2 of them last year and 1 so far this year, and it goes over really, really well. Carol Hobrecht and Denise Nagel, on July 2nd, played patriotic duets for us, and that was very well attended. Everybody enjoyed that. Sherwin and Pam Linton came and provided a concert for us a couple of weeks ago, and there were 70 people that attended that. Kept putting cheers out, and so that was a good thing for that. They were very, very well received. Justin Schroyer came and spoke to us about EDA and what EDA can do for Pipestone and to help the seniors out a bit. Just last week we had a root beer float feed. That was not one of our best, but at 67 degrees, people don't really like to come and have root beer floats. It's too bad that it wasn't a day like today, but
Right.
It was what it was. We still did okay. Along with the regular things, we have the exercise class that anywhere from 20 to 22 people attend every week. Bingo, hand and foot, dominoes, Yahtzee, pool, pinochle, and Monday mugs. So the center is pretty well busy every day except for Fridays. It's pretty quiet except for the senior dining on that day. So it's going very, very well.
Well,
Thanks.
lots going on at the senior center, and we're certainly glad that that's available, and a lot of people enjoy it. So thank you for your work on that, Steve.
You bet. And thanks for your continued support.
Okay. Housing and Redevelopment Authority. I don't see anyone there. Pipestone Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau. Haircut.
Thanks. I'm Erica Volker with the Pipestone Area Chamber of Commerce. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of you. On the chamber front, today we had a ribbon cutting just in the building here in your entrepreneurial incubator space for PRG Financial, Jonathan Bench. And next Monday, so thanks to everyone who attended, including the mayor and various city staff as well. And then next Monday, a week from today, we have another ribbon cutting for another new business in town, which is Pipestone Tobacco, located on Main Street on the south side in the former All About Smiles building. And everyone is invited to come. It's at 4 o'clock. and I can welcome Ibrahim Suleiman, there we go, Ibrahim Suleiman. This is his seventh store, so he's a very experienced businessman and a very pleasant individual. His family up in the States, but he'll be living here while he's searching for employees. So if you're out there looking for work and listening, go see Ibrahim as well. So lots happening there, and some great news with our businesses. One of our other businesses, Ridgeview Estates, with Good Samaritan Society, you are all invited tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, July 22nd, from 2 to 4. They're having an ice cream social and an open house, and that's in celebration of their National Quality Award at the silver level for 2025. That's an award that's given out by the American Healthcare Association and the National Center for Assisted Living. So that's great news. Shows that we're taking great care of our seniors in those living facilities. So shout out to Melissa McCorkadale and her team there at Ridgeview Estates. So head on out and get some ice cream and congratulate them on that recognition. Recently, we also hosted, I think it was last week, the Minnesota Secretary of State. The Chamber helped coordinate things for him. He was coming to town and he spoke with a small group of folks about nonpartisan voting information in terms of things. He took questions from the folks that were in attendance as well about elections and whatnot, all in an air of like how the process works as opposed to partisan, political, more just this is how our system works. These are the systems and the processes and the tests we do and what happens in terms of keeping those elections safe and secure, and then also putting out kind of a thank you on behalf of folks. Well, for example, that was helped with and stuff as well, and all of our local election judges, and talking about how those are the individuals that he says one of the most sort of misunderstood things is people think that the Secretary of State is the one who counts the votes, and he wanted to say no, that's all of your local folks, like that all in here, all that's here, and all the folks that work right at the county with Amy Folkerts as well. So he had a thank you to express to all of those people. And then he also spoke about business services that his office does, as you know, Secretary of State, or as you either know or don't know, I suppose. That's how you register a business and start a business, is by registering with the Secretary of State of Minnesota. So I talked a little bit about that. And one of the things he had been here back in like 2016 and 2018, when they had just first rolled out this business snapshot survey. And so that was, and still is, a voluntary survey that when you go and you either, and you renew your registration annually, then there's a short, voluntary, strictly self-reported and voluntary survey of 5 questions that helps, well, just anyone who's looking for information about, the state and how many, like, for example, one of them is how many businesses are veteran owned, how many are female owned, what type of business do you have, where are they located? And he was reporting back about kind of the overwhelming success rate of that. As again, I think, when we've gone to various trainings, they say if you get 10%, that's great. If you get 20%, you're doing really well. We have a 69% participation rate, so it shows that Minnesota is very good about, doing their civic part to kind of help people with the more information you have, the better decisions you can make. And so, and he was also there to announce that they've now made that information online, and it's interactive and searchable. So if you are looking for how many female-owned bakeries are there in this county, this region, you can do that. And so all that's online. If you're someone who's not computer savvy, then they also have a toll-free number that they have staff who can help with that information too. And that becomes helpful if you're looking for things from community development, economic development, but also just if you yourself are looking to be an entrepreneur, or for folks in the nonprofit sector, if they're looking for information in terms of writing grants and whatnot. So helpful information from the Secretary of State. And we thank Pipestone Helping Farmers for allowing us to meet up there, because currently we're going to have them at the Patrick Park, and that was being used for the regional meeting by the Southwest, the SRDC. So busy time in Pipestone, which is great. On the tourism front, last time I was here, we talked about how we had lined up a couple of different travel bloggers. One of those is an independent travel blogger, and she has a large following via Instagram, and then we're utilizing that through some different ways with Southern Minnesota Tourism Association to get that information out there online through digital channels and social media. Her name is Tammy Bashore, and she took a lot of beautiful photos. And our focus of an itinerary that we set up for her was really kind of featuring our beautiful parks and trails, history and culture of not just Pipestone, but kind of the entire county. And she did a very nice job with that. And we share that, and we'll have it linked on our website and get it out through our chamber newsletter as well, which, by the way, anyone can subscribe to. It's free. Just call the chamber and you can keep up to date with everything that's happening in Pipestone. The other blogger is the publisher, and then he had his significant other, so Jan and Jen. He's very interesting. He's originally from Germany, but he now lives in the United States. And the two of them were here on behalf of Minnesota Trails magazine. They wrote quite an extensive blog with gorgeous photos, like all pretty much. I don't think there's a single attraction that he didn't hit. So not only here, but Edgerton. He went down to Fish and Chips down in Island, the state park, Casey Jones Trail, of course, because it's kind of focused towards the trails in terms of their magazine that they publish in cooperation with the Minnesota State Parks and Trails Association. It comes out quarterly, but then he also has an online presence as well through social media. He has an email, a blog, and then different ways to get that information out to folks who like to use all of our state and local trails. So he did just a phenomenal job. He also made some short kind of social media videos, one of which featured just different, like they're just very quick, like, you know, don't quote me on this, but maybe like 10 to 30 seconds, you know, like about kind of looking at each one of the trails that we have from Indian Lakes to Casey Jones, Circle Trail, etc. And then the other one, and then culminating with a stop, of course, because they had built up an appetite and had some treats at Dairy King. And then the other one was bicycling, and then they bicycled to Dart's Pizza. So that was fun to showcase those local culinary treats too. From a community and community development, quality of life, as well as tourism perspective, it's summer, so we have a lot of upcoming events for residents and all of our visitors alike. Starting this week, so we have our Teddy Bear Picnic Wednesday, July 23rd from 11 to 1. It's sponsored by the Chamber and the Kiwanis Club, so it's totally free. Come out, there's games, prizes, a piñata, free lunch. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Unless you're inside that teddy bear suit. But other than that, it's pretty darn fun. And that is an event that is strictly for our youngest families and our childcare providers. So anyone can come, but it's really geared toward that quite young child. So come on out and bring those. We always do have a lot of childcare providers that come, and so that's great. And they can connect. And we also thank the museum, the library, Coborn's, and the City of Pipestone's Public Works for assisting with that as well. It's crazy days this week, so there will be sales kind of all this week with some of the merchants, and then kind of the 24th through the 26th for others. So just kind of check your favorite social media pages for those and go around town and support our local businesses. Also starting Friday, which is the 25th, and running through next Thursday, the 31st, is the third out of 4 artists in residence at the Pipestone National Monument. This one's kind of a special one. His name is John Sterner, and he's a regional artist. He lives in Marshall, Minnesota. And if you have ever traveled up to Marshall, Minnesota, many of those statues there, he was the sculptor, including the Mustang by SMSU, as well as now I'm forgetting her name, but the woman. So one of the early female pioneers. That's kind of when you take that tour that curve towards College Drive. But he's also an art teacher up there, and he's half part Native American and also part like Norwegian. So he brings a kind of both sides of his ancestry into his artwork. So very interesting guy, very nice. Great to talk to, obviously, because he's a teacher. So if you get a chance, stop out to the monument. The monument is free as usual, and he'll be inside the visitor center greeting folks, in addition to, obviously, all of our own amazing artists of the carvers. Then Saturday, July 26th, Full Steam Ahead is back. So the library isn't here today, but I'll just put in a plug for them. Of course, STEAM is not a steam room like a sauna. It's science, technology, engineering, arts, and music. That event is back. They're going to have different STEAM activities inside and outside the newly remodeled library from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Everything's free. They'll have a lunch starting at noon until dawn, yard games from 1 to 2 outside. And then they're super excited and I want to put a big plug in for, they have a pretty cool thing coming at 2 o'clock. And that is a New England one-man band. He calls himself the Suitcase Junkin. It is an all ages show, so family friendly lyrics, but I mean, he goes and just like performs just to all adults too. So I don't want you to think like, if you're like Tom and I don't have little kids, like you are welcome and it's entirely appropriate. So come on out to their patio and green space. I'm going to use his words here. He calls himself a swamp Yankee. He was born in Virginia and now lives in New England. And it's like, kind of picture someone who's playing music on a back porch, you know, kind of mountain ballads, blues manifestos, sort of folk music, dancehall music. So lots of fun. And he makes all his own instruments. So really cool and interesting, creative guy. And they're super excited. This is one of their big programs of the year. So everyone will come out and support that. We're heading in, then the next following week will be the Pipestone County Fair Week, but it's also arts and mentoring programs, summer theater camp, and they'll be culminating. So most of those kids are probably signed up for that. But everyone's invited to then support them at their show that they put on, which will be the day after the fair culminates. So that'll be Sunday, August 3rd. So and they're performing Aladdin Jr. Of course, the Pipestone County Fair. Since I was last here, we've had all kinds of festivals throughout the county. But last but certainly not least is the Pipestone County Fair. That is a little early this year, so it's starting Wednesday, July 30th. So it's half in July and half in August. So Wednesday, July 30th. Kind of some big questions we always get. What are the big grandstand events? So we'll go through here and food. So because we like to be entertained, we like to eat. So grandstand, and of course all of our ag community shows and 4-H shows and community exhibits as well. But grandstand wise, Ag Olympics, they're bringing that back, so it'll be fun. I believe that's well, I know they're donating a portion and I think it's free will as well, but that'll be local teams competing in various ag challenges. That's also Dar's Pizza fundraiser for 4-H that night. Thursday, July 31st is foreplay, and that's beef night. They're having New York strips, and that's through the beef producers. Friday, August 1st is the NPTA truck and tractor pull. And that will be the pork producers night, either a huge pork chop or pork loin sandwich. And Saturday, August 2nd, will be the antique tractor pull. That's pretty much all day. And so you can, and then in the evening, they're going to have Pipestone Helping Farmers. Will be having the rib feed. They also have the rib cook-off that day, which is a competition, but the rib feed open to the public. And that will be, the funds for that will be going towards fairground improvements. Additionally, on August 2nd, from a chamber perspective, we'll be holding the Pipestone Area Chamber's Ag Communities Youth Ribbon Auction at 1 o'clock. New this year, I just wanted to put out kind of a notice that we're going to have folks register for bigger numbers. So please come up to the window there and register for your bigger number anytime at noon. Sharps start at 1 o'clock. This all raises money for our Pipestone County youth in ag and our future ag leaders. And so, going to Pipestone County 4-H, Pipestone FFA, and also Edgerton FFA. Last year was a record-breaking year. We raised $159,500 through the generosity of our local individuals and businesses. You do not need to be a business in order to bid. You can be anyone. And if you want to pool your bids and you can't be there, just call us at the chamber and we can take what you'd like to bid on and how much or what type of animal or who particular youth involved, whatever. So that's a great program. It also helps fund the live streaming of the fair, which is a great learning tool for the youth that are showing livestock. So those funds also assist with that. This is, I think, our 3rd or 4th year that we've been exclusive sponsor of that, and that's a great thing. Then they can watch those videos and learn from that before they go up to other competitions or for the next year. Additionally, folks that are at work that can't get away but have a business that will say, hey, you can watch them online, then they can watch them in real time. Or if you have family members who live out of state or out of the area and can't make it, they're able to see their loved ones perform as well. So that's a really cool thing and great service that we're happy to sponsor by Christensen Broadcasting. Of course, Chamber Car Cruising season is here, And Thursday, August 7th in Hatfield, we'll have a live band with Southern Detour. And Thursday, September 4th will be our last one in historic downtown. And that will be DJ Mylan Ray. It'll also be a burger feed fundraiser for our Pipestone Veterans Memorial. Speaking of the Veterans Memorial, Don Waters is also having a car show, which is 2 days after our Thursday one in Hatfield on August 9th. And theirs will also be it'll be at their business, and it will be a fundraiser for the Veterans Memorial as well. Kids fishing community dinner and water inflatables will be back, and that's Wednesday, August 13th. More to come about that. Rain day, very next day at Hiawatha Pageant Park. Totally free event. If you're interested in sponsoring, give us a call at the chamber. Fantastic event and a great use of that park and our beautiful city facility there. On Wednesday, August 20th, the Pipestone Performing Arts Center has a really cool show coming for animal lovers like myself. And as seen on America's Got Talent, it is the Puppy Pals. This is a mouthful. The Puppy Pals Action-Packed Rescue Stunt Dog Show. So essentially, what that all means is they're going to have a bunch of live animals in there, live dogs, who are all rescue dogs at one point, who've been trained to do things that I can't even get Tom to do. So it's going to be a great show, and everyone's encouraged to come. So that would be fun. And get your tickets because they are already selling. You can get them online or, of course, at the box office. I know this is long, but we got a lot of stuff coming. So Marlena Miles is the final artist for Pipestone National Monument. She'll be here August 23rd through the 29th. And of course, just a plug then also for the Pipestone Farmers Market, which is here seasonally and runs, through usually about in October. They're now open on both Wednesdays at 4:30 and Saturdays at 8. And sometimes they have like Dick Frederickson playing music out there, our cowboy crooner there. And they have a lot of new vendors this year. So be sure and check it out. It's really nice. They've got some flowers now. They've got honey. They've got toffee. They've got oh my gosh, so many sweets that are amazing, and of course the typical things you'd expect like baked goods and produce. And so be sure and check out our Pipestone Farmers Market right outside from this building. From an economic development standpoint, the chamber is working with the Economic Development Authority, and I'll let Justin do this for time to talk about most of this stuff. But we are part of our CCIP program, and which is of course the Child Care Initiative, and I'm sure he's got exciting news to tell you about that. And those committees, the Chamber helps with the workforce and the building committee. We also then are partnering the chamber and the city together on the CBC, which was formerly known as the BRE, and that stands for Connecting Businesses and Community, which was formerly the Business Retention and Expansion Program with University of Minnesota Extension. As you recall, that was a program that was Justin brought, and we were here as well, and asked for the city council approval. It had kind of a bigger cost, but he's got exciting news about that. That I think most, if not all of that, has been covered by grants, and he'll go over all that. So that's really good news. Justin, myself, and Tom have met several times to finalize the timeline, the business survey questions, and we're really excited about that and all the information we'll be able to get to help serve our businesses well and be responsive, both from a chamber perspective and a city perspective and a county one. Since I was last here, we had 3 large events. One, of course, our kickoff to the chamber car cruisings at the end of May, and that went really well. We also had, our entertainment was Ewing, Maine. And then we had our Chamber Golf Classic. That was a record-breaking year with our number of participants, and that was a great event. We had, I think, 26 teams out there for our annual golf event. And then we also had, of course, Water Tower Festival. That was a huge success. Congrats to the parade winners. We had a fun theme with the timeless toys. I think that helped. So we had a ton of participation. First place went to First Bank and Trust, Pipestone Helping Farmers, and we'll go through all the rest, but just look on our Facebook page or within your newsletters and online. We did, though, I do want to highlight, we added a new award, which is for the best class reunion parade entry. So those of you who are planning reunions next year, this is a new award. This year it was won by the Pipestone High School class of 1969 for their fishing one, and they did an awesome job. Tom Carlson was kind of behind a lot of that, and many other folks. And so that's going to be a fun one. So, get your thinking caps on, and, and then this encourages folks to have something with their picnic table and green balloons, so on there. And with that, I'm excited to announce that the 2026 Water Tower Festival theme for the parade will be Minnesota icons, or anything iconic about Minnesota. We're gonna work on the wording, but essentially, that doesn't have to be a person. It can be. It could be Kirby Puckett. It could be Prince. It could be, it could be Bud Johnston. I mean, whatever you think is iconic about Minnesota, it could be Hot Dish. It could be Gray Duck. It could be, the spoon and cherry sculpture. It could be Winnebago Falls, the giant pipe, whatever. Anything, Babe the Blue Ox. I mean, it's unlimited. And that will be we chose that specifically because next year will be the sesquicentennial of the city of Pipestone. So, that pen is not cooperating, but, we're announcing that early so that people can get their creativity flowing and, lots of options there. And then finally, last time I was here, it was a really full schedule. There's some technical difficulties and I didn't have an opportunity, but I just wanted to genuinely thank Mayor Delaney, the City Council, and City of Pipestone for the honor of declaring June 28th, 2025, which was the Saturday of Water Tower Festival, Erica Volker Day. I just want to say that, it really takes an entire community of helpers to make a place special, and we definitely have that. And when we all work together, we can be successful. We're very lucky to have an excellent chamber board. We have amazing community volunteers, dedicated nonprofits, hardworking city and county staffs, and as well as our elected officials and many, many incredibly generous local businesses. So I was very shocked and humbled and touched, and I appreciate the honor. Any questions?
Well, it was very well deserved. And I think our new motto is there's always something to do in Pipestone.
That's right.
So
Yes.
good to hear. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Erica. Next up is Economic Development Authority. Justin.
Okay, since we'll go back to May, was kind of heavy in childcare. May 1st, we had a childcare 101 event, is what we called it, at the library, and we had licensures there, people from the state, people from the county. We invited people to come in if they were interested in starting a business, and then they would answer all their questions. We had a couple people show up for that. May 8th was our annual provider appreciation event at the lodge. We had about 25 providers come. Got them some tacos and prizes and activities. Everybody had a good night there. I just want to thank all the businesses and individuals who donated that, helped make it possible. And then my helpers that helped me out on this RCCIP committee too. Another thing we've been doing on this RCCIP is looking at buildings. We toured a bunch a couple weeks ago with the architect, find a place we can use for childcare. And we did put in an offer last week on Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. So sometime this next year, we'll get that opened up as a childcare facility that people could rent. And hopefully, be a place for 12 more kids. June 4th, Stephanie and I went to the Minnesota Housing Emerging Developer Institute in Granite Falls. That's going to be like a 2-year program too. Every other month we'll go up there and meet, and they're setting us up with Minnesota housing finance, funding opportunities, and just learn how other towns are addressing increasing our housing stock. Went to the EDAM, Economic Development Association of Minnesota Summer Conference in June. I selected as an emerging professional in EDAM. Part of that program includes a mentor. So I'm paired up with Miles Seppold. He's the EDA director in Hutchinson. He's been doing that for almost 30 years. So that's my new mentor. We closed on another lot in Southwest Acres in May. There's currently 3 homes being built as we speak. There's 2 more lots available. Contact Real Estate Retrievers if you're interested in building a new home, Southwest Acres. Erica mentioned our business retention and expansion program. We're continuing to work on that. We have received so far to date $4,500 from Centerpoint Energy Foundation. They were here last week and presented us with one of those big checks. And then just tonight we accepted that $1,000 from Sioux Valley Energy Operation Roundup to fund our efforts there. Earlier in June, the city was awarded $20,000 energy efficiency community block grant through help with the SRDC. And the first step of that was Franklin Energy came down and did an audit. We went through all city-owned buildings, and he's going to bring back a report that tells us what we could change to save on our energy bills. Yeah, other grants we're working on with SRDC, we're working on the Federal Lands Access Program, working with the federal EDA, try to increase some infrastructure. So, that's about all I got.
Always a lot of work behind the scenes, Justin, that most people don't think about or hear about, but appreciate the information. So you're staying very busy. Thank you. Museum, Susan. Last but not least.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me here. I think I reported at the last report that I had the museum staff attend the Dakota Conference at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, which is it's an academic history conference, and we heard a lot of different speakers, people that had researched topics and presented them with just some great ideas on ways to look at history. It was a really good conference, and we actually had museum educator Trava Olivier present this year, and she had researched and then presented the history. She recently had been working on the Percheron Horse Farm, so that was really very well received. We do have, I also believe I introduced we had 2 interns this summer. Blake Potabom is a recent graduate from USD, and Olivia Weber, who is a senior at Pipestone area schools. Both of them we have working in all areas of museum work this summer. So collections, exhibits, programming, both of them are researching, and they will each produce a case exhibit. Both will research, write, and present topics at our coffee talks, cemetery tours, and some local assisted living facilities. And we have them both involved in our school and youth tours. And both are working in areas of the museum collection to inventory, research, and process objects using our museum software. And so these areas of the collection that they're processing will be made available to the public at the end of their internship through our online collections database. So, and that's accessible on our website. So it's just another way that we can share our collection with the public. We also have some great volunteers transcribing some of our collection records. So we have a lot of information about the objects that we hold in the museum collection. The thing is, some of it is over here. Some of it's over here, and they're kind of in different areas. So we are working now to transcribe that all into one document that will be searchable. And then we're also reorganizing our storage areas. We were happy to receive some donated storage shelving from another museum, and we're implementing a location code. So when we want to find an object, we'll know right where it is in the storage. The Historical Society Board and volunteers worked very hard last fall, this spring, to clean up the District Number 3 schoolhouse. That's out at Moore Park. And so we are, and this is another area we have the interns involved, we're working to inventory the building with the idea to maintain mostly objects that pertain to District Number 3. We will have in our collection objects from other counties or country schools throughout the county, but that is District Number 3 school. So it actually came fully loaded with a lot of school books, furniture, that kind of thing. So we do use this building, as I'm sure you know, for our youth programming. We removed the oil burner stove to create more needed room that was in the building. We do only use it in the summer, so we don't need to heat the building. And we weighed, the positives and decided that we really needed to be able to fit more kids in that building, especially when we were hosting some of the school tours from out of the community. We received a generous private donation as well as a grant from the United Way of Pipestone County to fund new window shades in the building, which will help to protect the interior. And that whole project will be $1,200, which they should be installed in the next few weeks. We repaired some broken and missing window glass in a few of the windows. They do have storm windows, but we wanted to make sure that both the storm and the window were in good condition. And we're planning to paint the exterior, which, as I'm told, is not as simple as it sounds. So we have to do a lot of prep work, checking the nails on the siding, replacing any siding that needs to be replaced, and then also caulking, etc. Excuse me. So the building itself is 145 years old. And it is very unique that we hold active programming in the space. A lot of museums you go to, if they have a building like that, they'll rope it off at the door and you can peek in. But we really are embracing, letting kids and adults just get in on that history. We monitor the building and we're maintaining it. So we do hold our youth programming out there in the summer on Thursdays from 1 to 3 p.m., preceded by 30 minutes of schoolyard games. So all the non-digital games that we all used to play, we're introducing the kids to. And the last day of the schoolhouse this summer is August 21st. We will also be closed on July 31st, just for that one Thursday. So the newspaper digitization project that we're working on. The 1879 to 1915 is complete. That's available online and searchable. I hope some of you have taken a look at that. The next phase will be 1916 to 1939, and we're raising funds for that now. So any donations will be really much appreciated. We have received a number of donations and we're applying for grants for that as well. And then I wanted to just get to our Ferris Grand update, as this is a high visibility project, historic preservation and rehabilitation of the building. We're just handling this one phase at a time. And we have received funds through the Minnesota Historical Society for several phases of this project. And as I think you guys know, they do have you dot your I's and cross your T's all the way through that. So we received a grant in 2015. Well, we received the building in 2013. We received a grant in 2015 for a consultant's report. And that was to review the state of the building in depth and suggest areas that we needed to focus on for the work in the order of importance. In 2019, we were awarded a grant to fund construction drawings, and we hired LHB architects to draw these plans up, and they drew 3 phases up on the 3 projects that were outlined and highlighted in the consultant's report. So we have all of those ready to go, and then we're just doing one at a time. So in 2022, we did the phase 1 physical work, which was repointing the north facade and rebuilding a portion of the parapet. And we remember that with the summer of the scaffolding that was up there. But it is watertight now. It hasn't been leaking, so we're on the right path. And then just on Friday, we had our pre-grant due for the next physical phase, which is repointing the remaining 3 elevations. So that they do award that around November, and we are asking in the grant for $173,000 to fund that next phase of the project. So our other projects with this property, the stage door damage that occurred, as you remember, in October of last year, it is completely completed. And we just finally got the paint the wall around the exterior of the stage door. It looks really nice. That's all wrapped up. Of course, insurance did not cover the total cost of the repair, but we were able to make that happen. So of course it needed to be done. We did discover a broken transom window just a few weeks ago to the east of the street level Masonic door, the glass door that just goes straight upstairs. So we had that replaced, cost just under $700. I think they were here Friday, Midwest Glass, got that all wrapped up. On the building we call the L building, which is the lobby of the Performing Arts Center, we are working, approved by HPC, ready to go, working towards replacing the columns on the front of that building. They're a little rotted at the bottom, so that is in the works. And then kind of in the back of that building where the community garden area is, we did replace the steps with new steel fire escape steps there, and we're still finishing that up. And so another building project that we have going is on the Moore block where the Prairie Maidens has their shop here on the corner of Main Street. We are replacing the second floor. Well, it's on Main Street. There's a doorway that goes straight up to the second floor. We're replacing that door, and we have that all approved through HPC as well and ready to go. So we do own and maintain 5 historic properties in the city of Pipestone. So we are always really busy with keeping up with these properties as best we can. Shut that off. Guys have any questions?
Well, no, but thank you, Susan, for your work and keeping our history alive like you do. It's very important for the future generations.
Yeah, and we're really working to make it more available in new ways. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next up is new business, a request for council action. Bud Johnson, owner of the Keepers Sacred Tradition of Pipe Makers, is holding their annual Keepers Gallery or gathering July 16th through July 20th. He is requesting that the city waive the fees for the use of the 6-yard dumpster during the time of the gathering. And this has been approved in the past, so I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Then we have a request for council action from Brandy Holstein, and this is with the Body Church Wellness, is requesting the city to waive the Hiawatha Pageant grounds and lodge rental fees and also provide 3 garbage totes for a free community event that she is planning to host from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturday, August 16th. And this event is called the Rep and Revive. It is a free, family-friendly event designed to bring the community together with movement and worship. And Brandy, is there anything you'd like to add to this request? I see that you're here.
I'm here to answer any questions.
If you'd like to come up to the podium, if any of the council has any questions or anything you'd like to add, go right ahead.
Hi, good evening. I'm Brandy Holstein, owner of Body Church Wellness here in town. We basically, our business is faith and fitness combined. So I do group exercise and do personal training as well. But to be honest with you, it was a Friday night, and I was at home, and it was like 8 o'clock at night. And all of a sudden, like, these ideas just started coming to me, and like, get something together in the community, get people moving, let's worship, let's praise the Lord. And so I just started jotting down things, just grabbed a notebook and started contacting some people from my church, some people in the community, and everybody I was talking to was like, yeah, let's do it, let's be on board. So yes, I am a brand new business, and so the request for coming in at minimal or at no charge to use the grounds would be greatly appreciated, because I have very little funds myself. It's being a new business. I just want to get people together, to praise the Lord and to be moving their bodies. So how it would work is we would be doing a spin class. I call it Soulful Spin at my gym. So we play Christian music. We do spin. So that would start the morning with that. We would have like a roughly 15 minutes break. We would then start doing roughly 30 to 40 minutes family fitness class. It'd be all body weight. We would not be bringing any dumbbells or anything like that. I just want to make it friendly, family friendly for everybody to join. And then do a little 15-minute break. And then I would have people from my church, I go to Christ the King, have volunteered to do worship music that morning. So like Shanoa Farmer, Miles Zephyr, Sheila Westfield, just to name a few, or have volunteered to donate their time and their talents as well. And so then it just, people have busy lives in the summer. So 10 o'clock, we want to be out of there and people can get onto their thing too. I know there's other community events going on that day as well. So yeah, I'm just here to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions from the council? Go ahead, Deb.
Okay, just a few things that come to mind, just on a city perspective. So
Absolutely.
when you talk about music and you say their talents, what kind of music are you talking about? Is it guitar? And I noticed that you talk about bringing a trailer in.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so that would be the stage.
Yes. So yeah, I plan on getting the trailer, whether it's a gooseneck of some sort or just, forgive me for my lack of terms, I don't know my trailers that well, but some kind of trailer, bringing that in. I would be on that, doing the workouts, performing for everybody. And then when music came about, yes, I do have some people in mind that I've worked with before. I have directed Vacation Bible School at our church for several years. So I have some people that I've worked with for heat and electrical in over there. And so contacting that individual to make sure that he can help me with electricity that way. But yeah, so there would be Miles plays guitar, Sheila plays piano or keyboard. Shanoa is an amazing singer. And some other people from our church, a drummer that I've reached out to, and another guitarist. So, and of course, a lot of them sing as well.
So just on the perspective of looking at it for the city-wise, financial-wise, it would be $400 for the grounds. You said also the lodge, and because it's 4 hours.
Yeah, so yes, I did write, what I wrote to Stephanie is, heaven forbid it's raining that day.
Right.
I would like to have a place to be indoors. So I don't plan on being in the lodge unless it's raining, then we would move.
But that at $30 an hour, 4 hours is $120. So that's $520. I'm just giving them
Absolutely.
the money wise, what you're looking at to waive the fees. And then, of course, on the garbage totes, that type of thing. Because it is considered a dance, and then there's the dance permit. You'd have to let the sheriff know because of the music and stuff. If you choose to waive that fee, to waive all the fees, I would recommend at least getting the damage deposit and the deposit. Looking at it from a city perspective, but then let the sheriff know, because in case somebody says, well, there's a lot of racket going on down there because of the loud music, that is a requirement, just to let the sheriff know. Just some of the things I think of. I wasn't here when this was going on. I would have let you know that, so that just so you know that. But those are just some things for the council to be aware of if you choose to waive the fees. That I just think we should get the damage deposit and a deposit.
Right. Is this a not-for-profit event then?
Well, I mean, I'm not a nonprofit business. So no, it's a free event. It's free to the community. Everybody's welcome. So I'm not charging anything. I'm just wanting people to come and.
That's what I mean for the,
Yeah.
but for this.
Yeah,
event, it's not for.
I'm not making a buck on it. No.
And you would get those funds back, Brandy.
Okay.
It's just in case if something should get broke. So I mean, and there's garbage totes out there already.
Okay.
So it's just in case if something should happen
Okay.
to break, at
Yeah.
least we would have that damage deposit to fall back on.
Yeah.
That's all. And we require that for anybody that rents the lodge.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've contacted some local businesses. Dairy King, for one, she plans on having coffee and chai out there, and just a welcoming event essentially. So
Would you have the trailer then as a stage area? Would that be on the hard surface, or where would you plan on parking that?
wherever I get permit. The reason, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can contact my church at Christ the King and I could totally use that for lot next to the church. That would not be a problem. I just think a mutual ground that people can come to. I like the beauty up there. I think, hopefully pray for a beautiful sunrise that day coming up, over the water there. I think it is just a beautiful place. If I know during the Relay for Life, they had that stage sitting there, so I was kind of thinking, I'd turn it a little bit differently, but having a stage sitting there, or a trailer, I should say, if that was permittable, just again, so we can be overlooking the waters and not
Mhm.
Okay.
on the side or parking lot.
Don't we have one, or does the chamber have one that they use for Water Tower Festival or something, or is that?
Public Works trailer that they do that with.
I mean, I'm sure I have access to a handful of them too as my husband. I'm sure you can help me.
I'm just saying that if it's, you wouldn't have to worry about bringing in a great big gooseneck trailer or anything.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that might work better. Yeah, okay. All right, any other questions, comments from the council? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we waive the fees, but have them put down a refundable damage deposit if God forbid something would happen.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Well, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
So would you can I see you afterwards, Brandy?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want mine.
Yeah.
We'll clear things up quick, so.
Next up is a request for council action from Jared Sutton with Sutton Auctioneering and Land Bank Broker LLC. They're requesting a partial street closure on 4th Street Southeast near the intersection of 2nd Avenue Southeast and 4th Street Southeast to hold an auction at the home of 319 2nd Avenue Southeast. And this would be at on any date that hasn't been really ironed out yet, but it could be the 5th, 6th, or 7th of August, 12th or 13th. And with the dates of 6th or the 13th being preferred. And that would be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., which would be for a 12-hour period. Public Works Director Michael Blumendahl doesn't see any issues with the street closure, and it will not affect any garbage pickup. He will not be closing off anyone's private driveway during this event. So that's the information I have on that. We'll probably have more detailed information as time goes on, but requesting a motion for approval for the street closure.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Resolution 2025-45, this is a resolution, if approved, will accept the following donations. And Dr. Larry Christensen donated $500 to the Recreation Department. And then we had an anonymous donation of a pop-up tent for the library play area, and that's valued at $50. I'd entertain a motion to approve these donations.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Well, I'd just like to say thank you to both these donors for their contributions. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Sioux Valley Southwestern Electric request for electric services. And this request is in correlation with the airport AWAF's replacement project, and Engineer Travis will present to explain the request. So go ahead, Travis, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. So this request in the amount of $6,772 to Sioux Valley Energy is to place the transformer equipment that is needed for the AWAS system. City would pay this, and then it costs us 100% reimbursable through MnDOT with the grant for the project. Just a pass. I mean, it's
It's a pass-through grant then, yeah, okay, all right. Well, again, and it's something that AWAS is a very important piece of equipment that we've been missing out there at the airport for quite some time, and we're getting very close to getting that up and running again. So I think it's important to do what we can to get that going. Entertain a motion.
I so move. I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. City Code Section 92-03, and that's the public nuisance affecting peace and safety. At our recent law enforcement liaison commission, we discussed the rules and regulations revolving around dynamic engine and transmission braking within the city limits. And dynamic braking, Jake brakes, a more common term for it. It's been an ongoing issue in the city limits for quite some time, with 3 major highways coming into town. Of course, there's truck traffic. And, you know, we're talking about the truck traffic that creates the loud popping noise when they use their dynamic engine braking. And it's quite a nuisance. Right now, the law enforcement is trying to enforce that through the sound and public nuisance ordinance, which is difficult to prove in court if someone would try to challenge it. And I know it's difficult for the prosecutor to try to prosecute. So we're still trying to think of ways to help curb this problem. And some of the communities that I've been in, and recently I noticed that they have ordinances that have a specific no dynamic braking allowed, period, in their city limits. And there are communities in Minnesota that do have that type of ordinance. So with talking with law enforcement, if we would give them the tools they need to do their job, a better ordinance, I think we would have a better solution to this ongoing problem. And so before we do anything like that, though, of course, we'd like to have our city attorney look into it to see if it's something that in today's world that we would want to try to do. I know new vehicles have dynamic braking with their transmission, and we certainly, that's not an issue. You don't even know that's happening. But we don't want to put something in black and white that would hinder that. So mainly looking at the semi trucks that are creating the loud noise at the 4-way stop, at the entrance into our community on the major highways. And so I'd recommend to council to direct staff to investigate this further, come up with a proposal. And Jason, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but does that sound like something that's viable for our community?
No, I definitely think it's something you can look into. I've seen those as well in other communities. I just don't know what the guardrails are, the specific guardrail is. So no, that's a good idea. I know other cities are doing it in some fashion, so we can look into it.
Okay, great. So just for discussion only, if I can get consensus from the council to move ahead with that, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so.
I see a lot of nodding, so everybody's saying good with that. Okay. Well, thank you, Jason. We'll turn that over to you and see what happens.
Good.
Okay. All right. Any closing comments from anyone? Had a very productive meeting. I'd like to thank everyone for their time here. And we had some very good reports, and we'll see what happens the next time then. Call for adjournment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries. We're adjourned.